Wisconsin. Sean Duffy, Congressman, good to see you. Do you think this is going to happen?
The meeting, Trish, listen, I don't know. We're dealing with liars and cheaters in North Korea. They don't hold to their word. So we're dealing with a unique partner in North Korea in Kim Jong-un. But I think Donald Trump has played this really well. I mean, you have these State Department intelligentsia that give every president the same advice, whether they're Republican or Democrat, and we've gotten the same result for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump has charted a different course, a little unpredictable, a little different kind of language, but I think he can get a different result. And I think that he's a trustworthy guy, especially with North Korea, and says, listen, you can denuclearize, and we can help bring prosperity to North Korea and your people and to you. I think it's a pretty good bargaining chip in exchange. Give up your nukes and prosperity for you and your people.
Will China go along with it, though? I mean, don't forget, right, Congressman, China kind of likes the idea of having a bit of a buffer there. And they've been a little bit of a thorn in everyone's side here. Don't forget, it was that second meeting in China that suddenly Kim Jong-un started backtracking on some of the sort of initial goodwill, shall we say. So I just ask you, how much of a problem do you anticipate from China if we suddenly are getting along a bit better with the North Koreans?
So that's a really good point. So not only do we have to deal with, what will China allow, and are they going to be true good actors with us in trying to bring peace to the peninsula, but you now have Vladimir Putin from Russia, who sent his foreign minister to North Korea to meet with Kim Jong-un and invite him to Moscow. So you see now China and Russia seeing Donald Trump maybe have some success with North Korea, and they don't want to see that happen, because if Donald Trump addresses this crisis and is effectively able to do it, his stock goes up in the world and in America, and they don't want to see that happen because obviously President Trump is, as you just mentioned, negotiating different trade deals, and when you are strong, you get a better deal for your people. They don't want to see that happen. I think they wouldn't mind seeing this whole deal with Kim Jong-un blow up.
Let me ask
and
you
embarrass
this.
Donald Trump.
So if China's that way, what about some members of the left? What about some members of the media right now? Because there's been sort of this pile-on, right? They were almost rejoicing, Congressman, when the president called off the summit. And they're saying, ha-ha, I told you so, I told you so. This is why nobody agrees to meet with him in the first place. And so there's kind of this damned if you do, damned if you don't attitude that the president has to confront both from the left and from the media. Are there still factions there, and I know you're not in D.C. today, but factions in D.C. with some of your colleagues on the left that almost don't want it to happen?
I think there's a lot of people in the media and in the Democrat Party that hate Donald Trump so much. Even if he does great things for America, they don't want to see him be successful, even if the country is successful. But the flip side of that coin, you see Donald Trump's poll numbers have increased. When the media is not fair and Democrats aren't fair with some of the successes of this president, average Americans, they understand when someone's being treated fairly and unfairly, and they see the president is so harshly criticized. Only negative things are brought up. They discount what these other cable news networks are saying and some of the top Democrats are saying about President Trump because they don't believe it. There's great things happening. The economy is growing. Trump crushed ISIS, securing the southern border, American energy independence.
People are watching us instead of these other networks.
North Korea.
I'll tell you, Congressman, I watched the competition, and I can see them out of the corner of my eye right now. You know what? We're covering the news. This is very important, what's happening. This could actually be
You're right.
Massively significant. And you know what? Our competition is not covering this news. They're covering other things related to the Mueller probe because, for whatever reason, the actual news that might make a difference in the actual world is irrelevant to them right now.
And the news in people's lives, they don't cover it. They talk. I don't know how they've been able to talk about Russia for a year and a half, every hour of every day. It's amazing to me, but that's why they've been discounted. And we turn to programs like yours to get the real news and a fair and balanced approach to what's happening in the world. You'll tell the good stuff and the bad stuff.
You'll hear it all right here. You will hear it all, and you will hear it without the bias that you see in other places. That's for sure, Congressman. But to me, this is pretty significant. I mean, markets right now down 300, tariffs. We're talking about the potential of tariffs and what that means for the world economy. And most importantly, we're talking about whether or not this summit between Kim Jong-un and the President of the United States will really happen. And if it does, gosh darn it, that's really significant. That's what you call news in my business.
It truly is. And if I can just make one last point, Trish, you look at Mike Pompeo. I came to Congress with him in 2011. We were freshmen together. Incredibly smart guy, accomplished history, and what a great counterpoint to Donald Trump. They have unique backgrounds, but they're playing well together, trying to get the best deal for our country. I'm looking forward to hearing what he's going to say in about 10 minutes. But again, it looks like this meeting went well with the North Koreans. And how masterful of President Trump to actually keep the North Koreans engaged. He didn't go back when the North Koreans weren't negotiating this deal in June, in a couple, 12 days from now. He didn't go fire and fury and my button's bigger than yours. Yeah. He canceled the meeting, but still
said,
was
hey,
gentle in his language, giving the door open to come back in and try to bring them back to the table to negotiate peace, which is exactly what you want a leader to do.
I hear you. Thank you so much, Congressman Duffy. It's good to see you. We want to continue